The Indiana Fever have a Nalyssa Smith problem. Now, as soon as I saw this, I thought to myself, you know what? The Indiana Fever do have a Nalyssa Smith problem. Now, this is a video from ConvosWithCarter, 6,000 subscribers. Shout out to you, Mr. Carter. Already sitting at around 2,000 views in just about 2 hours. So the video is slowly blowing up, making traction. In case you guys don't already, please go ahead, follow Convos with Carter on Twitter at the King Cartier, and then go ahead, check him out on YouTube as well. Convos with Carter at Carter Mobom. The Indiana Fever have a Nalyssa Smith problem. Let's see what we're getting into.
By Nalyssa Smith. She's a really interesting player on this team. She's the power forward, so she does mean a lot for this team on defense and on offense. And this video is just like a bunch of reasons why the Indiana Fever need to get rid of her. We're just going to like break down the first quarter of the Indiana Fever Dallas Wings game, and we're just going to like follow Nalyssa Smith, and I'm going to break down just her play.
Wait a second. Wait a second. We're only going based off one quarter here. Man. There's going to be a lot in that one quarter, I'm sure. I am scared to what we're going to find in this one quarter against the Dallas Wings. There's going to be some turnovers here, I'm sure. Did she fall down this game against a random defender? I don't know, but let's take a look.
I think there's a whole lot of reasons why they should get rid of her. And I'm not here trying to bash her. She's a good player. She plays a role. But with this team, I just don't think she's really helpful. I think she's more harmful than helpful.
Damn.
So here's my assessment on Nalyssa Smith, and we'll go ahead and break down the film once I finish. Look, Nalyssa Smith is only good in a fast-paced offense. In a slow-paced offense, she cannot shoot the ball. She has no role besides sitting on the three-point line. And then her defender literally does not guard her. She just clogged at the paint. So, really, she doesn't help their offensive schemes when they're playing slow. When Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are doing a pick and roll in a set offense, Aaliyah Boston goes to the paint, and an extra defender is down there guarding Aaliyah Boston. Okay, so you might say, okay, why not put Nalyssa Smith down in the paint? Why does Christy Sides have her sitting on the three-point line? Well, when she's down in the paint, it's not any better. It's just an extra body because they're not going to give her the ball. When she's in the paint, she's not about to score because why would you give the ball to Nalyssa Smith over giving it to Aaliyah Boston?
Indeed. Yeah, why would you give it to Nalyssa Smith over Aaliyah Boston? That's a good point. My small little pushback here would be, it seemed as if as the season's gone on, Nalyssa Smith has gone less and less efficient. She's got, as the season's progressed, she's regressed. Since we're going to do the harmful helpful here, since the season's progressed, she's regressed. I mean, I used to call her a combination between Zach Randolph and like Rudy Gay, her offensive game. She big body, low to the ground, not a lot of moves, but could create space. At least in the first half of the season, seemed like she could create space. Got her own rebounds, able to put it up with it. I thought she was pretty Zach Randolph-ish. But as the season's gone off, as the season's continued on, I think everything he said here is completely factual. The last 10 to 15 games, I think Nalyssa Smith has been, as he said, more harmful than helpful for sure.
Place on the team is taken by Aaliyah Boston when they're in a set offense. When they're playing fast, she's at her best, but guess what? Here's the thing, man. They're not going to play fast unless they get stops. She doesn't help them get any stops. She's just pretty much useless on the team. And
she is a huge defensive liability. She doesn't know how to shuffle her feet at all.
Unless they're playing fast, but then she is like one of the main reasons why they don't play fast. It's really a messy situation. Now check out this first play. They give the ball to Nalyssa Smith down on that post, and she makes a pass to Kelsey Mitchell. That's a good cut, but notice how when Nalyssa Smith comes out to the three-point line, her defender stays in the paint. That's just clogging up the paint furthermore. There's nothing you can really do in the paint when there's like 4, 5, 6, 7 defenders down there. And Nalyssa Smith isn't helping. Like, she's a liability right here because her defender is clogging up the paint. So whatever you're trying to do in the paint is getting harder.
That's disgusting. Before we even get into that, Kelsey Mitchell
is clogged.
Give Aaliyah Boston the ball here. Give Aaliyah Boston the ball here. Stop being so selfish. Quick decision. Grab the ball. Her defender collapses down on you, give it to her so she can go up real quick on a layup. But instead, you're going to dribble through, and I'm scared to see how this play unfolds. I'm sure this is a turnover, actually.
Up the paint. So whatever you're trying to do in the paint is getting harder because of Nalyssa Smith. She can't shoot. And so what she ends up doing is taking it into the paint, making it harder on herself, and she ends up double dribbling. What the defense is essentially doing is making a gamble. They're going to dare Nalyssa Smith to shoot, and they're going to say, you know what, we're going to buffer up our defensive intensity in other places, and we're just going to let you shoot. If you make it, we lose. But if you don't...
Dude, not only is that player in the post, Caitlin Clark's defender literally has her back to Nalyssa Smith.
Intensity in other places, and we're just gonna let you shoot. If you make it, we lose. But if you don't shoot or you miss, then we win. And they're basically winning this gamble. They're always gonna win it because she's never gonna hit shots. She's not a shooter. Now check out this next play. Nalyssa Smith's defender just creeps down into the paint to guard Aaliyah Boston. She makes a shot anyway, but still, like, Nalyssa Smith's defender is literally just not even guarding her, not worried about her, and she can add defensive pressure in other places. And there's nothing you can do about it because
not worried about her in the least bit right there.
Nalyssa Smith is only good down in that low post, and she's not helping if she goes down there. Say Nalyssa Smith brings herself down there. At that point, that's just an extra body in the paint, and that's just going to make the shot even harder for Aaliyah Boston. There's nothing for Nalyssa Smith to do on this play besides sit out on the three-point line, but she can't make threes. And so her defender is going to go down into the paint to add pressure anyway. This is just bad rotation. This is bad.
Folks, I am going to say this right now. I like the lineup with Lexi Hull in that spot instead of Nalyssa Smith, although they didn't play too well coming out the gate when Chrissy Sides went to that starting lineup. I actually wasn't too opposed to that being the starting lineup moving forward. They went back to Nalyssa Smith the next game, and that's been the starting lineup since. But if Lexi Hull can make those open shots on a consistent basis, along with Katie Lou, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Katie Lou, and Aaliyah Boston, that's my best five. Going to his point, they're not playing defense on Nalyssa Smith at all. At least Lexi Hull, they have to at least rotate and respect the shot. Whether she's making it or not, they have to at least respect it. Nalyssa Smith, they don't even respect it.
Bad players on the court. They're not complimenting each other in the right way. Nalyssa Smith cannot shoot the basketball, and she's forced to be a spacer. Now check out this next play. The defense makes a terrible move by doubling Caitlin Clark, and this would lead to a wide open layup for Aaliyah Boston. But look, because Nalyssa Smith is on the court, her defender will just leave her to go guard Aaliyah. That leads to a missed layup. This would not have happened if you had somebody who could actually shoot. If you had someone who could actually shoot, then if that defender left...
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Carter, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
The shooter to go guard Aaliyah to shoot. Her to go guard Aaliyah.
That's nasty.
Because Nalyssa Smith is on the court, her defender will just leave her to go guard Aaliyah. That leads to a missed layup. This would not have happened if you had somebody who could actually shoot. If you had someone who could actually shoot, then if that defender...
Doesn't even need to be Lexi Hull. Damaris Dantas. Let's split the floor. Let's do something different, Christy.
Left the shooter to go guard Aaliyah Boston on that wide open layup, then Aaliyah could just find the wide open shooter and they would make the shot. That would work. But Aaliyah Boston's not going to pass it out to Nalyssa Smith when the help comes because Nalyssa can't shoot. So it's just a bad look. It's not helping. You're being harmed by having Nalyssa Smith on the court. If Katie Lou Samuelson was in Nalyssa Smith's plays, not that Katie Lou's the best three-point shooter, but if you had someone who could hit threes at a high rate, then if that defender were to help off of Nalyssa Smith, then it would give Aaliyah Boston more incentive to pass it out to Nalyssa Smith. But if you pass it out to Nalyssa Smith, she can't shoot, and it's just bad, man. It's really just bad. Now check out this next play to mix it up because you're gonna.
It's just bad. It's just all the way bad. It's just all the way bad.
See a whole lot more plays like the ones I just showed you. Look, Nalyssa Smith is a terrible defender. Look at this. She has no defensive intensity. She's literally a cone.
None.
She's a cone. I'm not trying to pick on her, but she's literally not a good defender. She doesn't do anything good. Off the switch.
She's not. It's not picking on her when you're just calling her out for not being a good defender. It's calling a spade a spade. Literally, they just put out a hype tape, and I'd never seen Nalyssa Smith move as fast in a defensive stance as I saw in that Indiana Fever hype tape. So,
I mean, she could have stepped up to add extra pressure on Enrique, or maybe she should have stuck to her man a little bit more. She literally just stands still in the same place. She's not doing anything on defense. She's not. She's just a bad defender. She's just really a bad defender. Now check out this next play. Once again, Kelsey Mitchell's trying to drive into the paint, and the defender that's supposed to be guarding Nalyssa Smith literally just goes to guard Kelsey Mitchell.
These are bad. These clips are bad. These clips of them just not giving a rat's ass about Nalyssa Smith on the offensive end is just bad.
She can't shoot.
The crazy Carter, this is some good stuff right here. If Carter can see this, right? I'm watching him break it down. I can see this. We all can see this. Christy Sides, why can't you see this? Why can't you guys as a coaching staff see this?
Shoot, they need another player on the court besides Nalyssa Smith. She's
Lexi
only
Hall.
good for running in a fast-paced offense in transition, or if Aaliyah Boston's not in the game and they're just gonna go to her down on the low post, but they're not gonna prioritize.
Yes. That's why she needs to swap positions with Lexi Hall, because if you have Nalyssa Smith coming off the bench, she can be a focal point of that offense coming off the bench. We can get her off the bench. Dant is off the bench. And, oh my God, am I going to say Erica Wheeler begrudgingly? Erica Wheeler off the bench. Maybe even Grace Berger. I don't know. Needs to be 8, not 9, between Grace or Erica Wheeler. One of them. But something needs to get done to spread the floor for sure.
They're even going to give the ball to Demiris Dantes on the low post before they give it to Nalyssa Smith. She's too small. She's not a big man, but she revolves around the rim like a big man. I don't get her being on the court. I really don't. She doesn't really fit, in my opinion. And she's supposed to be a spacer. She's being reduced to a spacer.
Is she?
Because they're going to prioritize Aaliyah Boston, or they're going to prioritize.
I think she's being reduced to a spacer. I don't think she's a spacer. I think she's being reduced to a spacer.
Demiris Dantes, but she can't shoot. So her defender's just going to clog up the paint and make these layups harder. Check out this next play. Once again, Nalyssa Smith gives no intensity on defense. Literally off this pick, she should have stepped up and guarded Arike, and then maybe Caitlin Clark guards the roller and they have some switch at the end. No, she literally just stands still. Like, I get it. Maybe she shouldn't have picked up. Maybe there's nothing for her to do. Maybe this is just bad defense by Caitlin Clark. But I know one thing. On defense, you don't just stand still. You're literally not contributing to anything, and you're part of the pick and roll action.
That's
you
true.
should be contributing
Can't
in
just
some
stand
way
still.
because you're part of the pick and roll action. Like you're not.
Oh
doing
my
anything on
God.
defense,
That's bad.
contributing in some way because you're part of the pick
That's bad. She's just standing there.
and roll action. Like you're
Doesn't even step up on the other side of that screen. That's nasty work.
You're not doing anything on defense. You're literally a cone. She's a cone. She gives no effort on defense. And since she's not giving effort, they're not getting stops. And when they're not getting stops, it results in a slow offense, a set offense, and then she's useless there. So she's useless on defense, and then she ends up being useless on offense too. Why is she on the court?
Double negative. Double negative equals a positive. That's probably Christy Sides. That's probably what she's saying. Well, negative and well, I did get taught 2 negatives equal a positive. That's probably Christy Sides.
Now check out this next
Justification.
play. Look, Nalyssa Smith has nowhere to go on offense. She's
Folks,
really
this is all fourth quarter. He wasn't lying. This is all bad fourth quarter play from Nalyssa Smith.
useless out there. She's not really fulfilling any role. But what I want you to look at is the fact that if she was not in the paint, Kelsey Mitchell could have cut back door here. She could have cut back door and had an easy layup. Instead, she comes around and shoots this contested three-point shot. And that's not open to her because Nalyssa Smith is clogging up the paint. And even if Nalyssa Smith wasn't in the paint and she was out on the three-point line like we've seen so many times, if that was the case for Nalyssa Smith, her defender would probably be tempted to help onto Kelsey Mitchell if she would have cut anyway, and it would have been the same thing. Like, she doesn't have a role here. Unless they're giving her the ball down in that low post and telling her to go one-on-one, which is there's like a 40% chance of her making that one-on-one shot. Like, she doesn't really benefit you in any way. I don't know why she's on the court. Chrissy Sides plays her for the entire first quarter, for the record. She plays her for the entire first quarter. I just want to let you know that. Now, check out this next play, man. Nalyssa Smith is literally just useless on defense. She's not doing anything. She's just kind of in the way, man. She's at the end of this play, when the offensive player shoots the basketball, Nalyssa Smith is guarding no one. She's literally useless on the defensive side of the basketball. She's a cone. She doesn't help their defense at all. She doesn't improve their defense.
Literally guarding
She's
nobody.
not good. She's a power forward, but she does not play that role very well.
Oh my God, she's not good.
I'm not a defensive specialist. I really could not tell you what she should be doing on defense.
Yeah, but you got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a nose. You know what you're looking at.
Here, I'm sure Alpha Coaching, he can make a video about it and tell you all about it. I don't freaking know, but I just know she ain't doing nothing. It's
trash. Yeah.
Now check out this next play. Once again, Nalyssa Smith is sitting on the three-point line. She's forced to be a spacer, and look, her defender is just gonna clog up the paint. She's being a spacer. The rotations from Christy Sides are terrible here. I don't know what's going on, but she's on the court to be.
The rotation from Chrissy Sides are terrible here. That's what I'm saying, folks. Chrissy Sides is a defensive-minded coach. She made her bones being a defensive assistant, whether that was in college, whether that was with the Atlanta Dream, whether that was her first stint with the Indiana Fever. She made her bones on the defensive end. So when we're saying defensively her rotations are bad, defensively her sets are bad, defensively her team doesn't communicate, that's like saying offensively Mike D'Antoni's teams are trash. That's like saying defensively Rex Ryan's teams were trash. It just doesn't happen, and if it does, that person needs to get fired, i.e. Mike D'Antoni was shown the door and Rex Ryan only lasted 3 years in New York.
A spacer, and it is not helping this team. It is harming them. Caitlin Clark can't cut to the paint. Aaliyah Boston can't cut to the paint. It results in this crazy three-point shot from Caitlin Clark that she can hit, but it's not the desirable shot. Caitlin Clark could usually cut. She could probably get by her defender here and go straight to the paint, but she doesn't because there's extra clog in the paint. Like, if you're going to run an offense where you have everybody spacing the floor, then you actually have to have players on the court who can hit three-point shots. Lexi Hull cannot hit three-point shots at a high rate. Nalyssa Smith cannot hit three-point shots at a high rate. Aaliyah Boston cannot hit three-point shots at a
No, don't take shots at Lexi like that. Damn.
high rate. Timmy Fagbenle is not going to hit three-point shots at a high rate. You don't have three-point shooters on the team, but your offense revolves around.
Okay, at least he's going to say that we don't have any on the team. Okay. I think Dantis can shoot the three. Like I said before, I think Lexi Hull can make a three. That's why I've been screaming, where's Lexi Hull? That's why I screamed. Because I thought she could make a three. But as soon as I started campaigning for her, she suddenly forgot. Let it roll off. Let it roll. Forget.
Down, spacing the floor. But none of your spacers can shoot. This is why the offense is so stagnant. I really don't like this. Now check out this next play so I can refresh your mind on how good of a player Nalyssa Smith can be in transition. Look, when she's running the floor in transition, Caitlin Clark is pushing the pace. She knows exactly where to go. She knows exactly where to go, and she's going to contribute. She is going to capitalize on the opportunities in transition. This is where she contributes. This is where she makes herself useful. In transition, she's the player that knows where to go when Caitlin Clark has the ball. Caitlin Clark is going to find her. But they're not usually running in transition, and half of the reason is because of Nalyssa. Half of the reason is because Nalyssa Smith is a bad defender. And it's not just Nalyssa. She's like 30% of their bad defense. They have bad defenders around the board. They have bad defense, so they're not getting stopped, so they're not pushing the pace. She's only good when they're pushing the pace, but they're usually not here, and she's not helping that. Now check out this next play. Once again, Nalyssa Smith is able to contribute in a fast-paced offense. She knows where to go. The defense is in a wacky position when they're forced to play transition defense, and she knows how to capitalize on.
Folks, that's what I'm talking about. Nalyssa Smith has no left hand. Watch her turn it in the middle of the air.
In a wacky position when they're forced to play transition defense, and she knows how to capitalize on these opportunities.
Terrible.
But look, man, this is not the whole game. This is only a part of the game. If you watch the highlights all the time, you'll see these stretches where Caitlin Clark gets like 5 assists to Nalyssa Smith in like 3 minutes. That's literally how these games go. But, bro, what about the other 37 minutes of the game? What about the rest of the game? Like, there's 40 minutes of playtime. Don't just watch the highlights. There's a whole lot of time when they're not playing fast, when they are playing slow, and Nalyssa Smith.
Yeah, she is a handicap. Yeah.
Is really useless. She's good in moments like this, and I really like these plays. I really like these highlights. I think a whole lot of people like the highlights. But at the end of the day, they're not always playing fast, so you're not always going to have these kinds of plays. And when you're not playing fast and you're not having these kinds of plays, I think Nalyssa Smith is useless, which is why I think a lot of people don't like her on the Fever. I think there's a reason for it, and this is kind of the reason. Check out this next.
I didn't know the Nalyssa Smith disliking ran that deep. I did see it in our chats when we were watching the games. I did see it, but I didn't know that it was that loud. I didn't know it was that loud, the Nalyssa Smith stuff. So we'll have to keep our eye on that coming back from the break.
Next play, once again, Caitlin Clark is getting down low into the paint, but there's extra help guarding her because Nalyssa Smith can't shoot.
That's bad.
Nalyssa can't shoot. Her defender is not. She's not going to guard Nalyssa, and Nalyssa Smith is just left wide open.
On two people, she makes it.
Extra defensive attention.
I'm telling you, Caitlin Clark, once she figures out, you know what, I could just get by all these people. Once she starts figuring that out, it's going to get really dark out here.
On Caitlin Clark, if you're going to play an offense where you have a bunch of people spacing the floor, if Chrissy Sykes wants to run an offense like that, your spacers have to be able to shoot, or the defense is going to make a gamble that is in their favor, and they're going to end up winning that gamble 100% of the time. Because Nalyssa Smith is never going to be a shooter. And if she makes one shot, she's not going to make the second one. And if she makes 2 in a row, she's not going to make the third one. But she's not going to make 2 in a row. She's probably not going to make the first shot. She's not a shooter. They're going to be able to gamble every single time, and they're going to win that gamble every single time. This is not working. We need change. Now check out this.
Damn. The video doesn't lie. The video doesn't lie. As much as I sometimes say I think Nalyssa needs to shoot more of those threes, I mean, this is some bad tape right here for Nalyssa Smith. I can't argue against any of this. I think she should come off the bench. I don't want to see her in the starting lineup anymore. I want Lexi Hull in that starting lineup instead. But, folks, this is all first quarter stuff he's playing. Imagine if Carter wanted to take his time and really go through the whole entire game. He'd be here for an hour dissecting how garbage Nalyssa Smith played that game.
This next play, look, Caitlin Clark comes off a screen.
Oh, my. Imagine if he dissected the Angel Reese game where Angel Reese cooked her the entire second half. That would have been nasty, too.
From Demiris Dantes, and she gets her defender behind her. What should happen should be an easy drive for Caitlin Clark, or if Demiris Dantes' defender helps on Caitlin, then that's an easy kick over to Demiris Dantes' easy three-point shot. But look what happens. None of that happens because Nalyssa Smith's defender is in the mix. Nalyssa Smith's defender is a third defender in the mix because Nalyssa can't shoot, but she's supposed to be a spacer. She can't shoot. The defense has no incentive to actually guard Nalyssa.
Yeah, Christie sets up her offense for her to be a spacer, but she's not a spacer. And if they want a spacer, put her in the corner and have her take a few steps up, 2K style. You don't have those limitless badges. You don't have those dead-eye badges, but you do have those mid-range badges, right? You do have some hot spots on the mid-range, right? Nalyssa Smith, put your ass in the corner, take a few steps forward, make it a mid-range, and let's get the show on the road.
Smith. What I would have liked to seen in this play is maybe Nalyssa Smith cutting, but there's really not space to cut. But, I mean, I see a little lane. She could have cut right there, and maybe the defense from the corner would help, and you would have an open three or something.
Yeah.
But you can't just be a spacer if you can't shoot. But this is what Nalyssa Smith's role has become. She's useless, and she's really harming the team more than she's helping the team. I keep saying that, but it's really the truth. Check out this next play. It's sloppy defense. I really don't mean.
That's true. I'm glad he pointed that out. It's what her role has become. She didn't always stand on the three-point line, but as Caitlin Clark's been getting it together, as the offense has been evolving away from the dreadful start, this is what her role has become.
To sit here and pick on Nalyssa, if you say you could take a lot of players and just literally follow them for a whole quarter, and you would have a lot to say about them and be picky about. But look, man, it's the truth. She's a terrible defender. What are these T-Rex arms in the paint? She literally does not. She's not intimidating anybody in the paint. She's
what the hell is that? What the hell was that? He is right. What are those T-Rex arms?
Look, man, it's the truth. She's a terrible defender. What are these T-Rex arms in the...
Look at that. What the hell? Hands up, don't shoot. Come on, Nalyssa. What are we doing here?
She literally does not.
That's crazy.
She's not intimidating anybody in the paint. She's a sloppy defender. She ends up fouling here. This is literally her on every single defensive possession. She's not a good defender. She's not. She might get a lucky steal here and there. I'll even show a clip of her getting a steal early in the game. But she's not a good defender. She's supposed to be your power forward. You have to be game, but she's not a good defender.
Did we just see her? Did we just see her double dribble right there?
I'll even show a clip of her getting a steal early in the game. But she's not a good defender.
She double dribbled right there.
She's supposed to be your power forward. You have to be better. As the power forward, you can't be a worse defender than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark makes up for it on the offense side of the basketball. She can be a bad defender. You're the power forward. You can't. Now, this is the...
Ooh, that's true. That's true. If Caitlin Clark's on your team, you can't be the worst defender on the team. Caitlin Clark needs to be the worst defender on the team. But Nalyssa Smith, you might be the worst defender on that team as far as the starting lineup goes, hands down.
The last play I'll show. This is like the cherry on top, just to kind of prove my point.
Yes, worse than Katie Lou. Yes, Katie Lou gives effort.
Look, this defender is literally not guarding Nalyssa Smith. Like, she's literally, like, they're not even worried about Nalyssa. Nalyssa ends up shooting the three-point shot. She bricks it. She's not going to make that shot. Things would change if she started making
that so matter-of-factly.
Yeah, but she's not a shooter. I just think they need to replace her with a player who can shoot the ball.
Get her out of here.
Chrissy is going to keep on running this offense where Nalyssa Smith is supposed to be a spacer and she's supposed to be a shooter, but she can't shoot. And the defense is making a gamble that they literally win every single time. Nothing good's going to come out of it. Look, man, that's the end of this video. I'm done with this video. Yeah, this is like a whole lot of hate. I'm not trying to hate on Nalyssa Smith. I don't dislike her as a person. I've never like paid attention to her or anything like that. So I don't know if I dislike her as a person, but like to be honest, man, she's just not a good basketball player on this team. She doesn't fit in, and she harms the team more than she helps the team. Chrissy Sides leaves her in the game for the entire first quarter with all this bullcrap going on, and they end up being down 7 points at the end of the first quarter. She is a big problem on this team. She's not the only problem on this team. Like, once they get rid of Nalyssa Smith and, say they trade her for another player, like, that's not going to fix all their problems. They're still going to be a losing team. There's a whole lot of reasons why this team is losing, but she's one of the reasons. And so, yeah, I'm not here to, like, hate on Nalyssa Smith and, like, be that kind of guy. But, bro, she's pretty much useless on the court in these situations.
Be that guy.
Other than that, bro, I was going to make some videos on the Olympics, but then a whole lot of you guys told me not to make videos on the Olympics, but I was still probably going to do it a little bit because a few people said they wanted to, and I was, probably going to do it a little bit.
Do we want to see Convos with Carter Olympics breakdown? Go to Convos with Carter. Let him know in the comment section below. Are you guys trying to see a Convos with Carter Olympic breakdown?
But then, like, the opening ceremony for the Olympics, like the opening, I'm not doing any videos anymore.
Damn!
Blasphemous as a Christian. Y'all see my Amen hoodie. Yeah, I'm out, bro. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly did. Peace out, man.
Damn. He waited for the last minute. He waited for the last minute to really lay it in there. To really say what it was. Great video. Great video. Nalyssa Smith, I'm sold. It's time for you to get out of here. It's time for you to hit the trail. All right? Let's move you to the bench. Lexi Holt can get inserted into the starting lineup for the rest of this year. And then moving into the offseason, we got to package you. We got to package Erica Wheeler. We got to get you two together, and we got to ship you off somewhere. I don't know what we're going to get for it. To be honest with you, we need a three-point shooter. We need a 3 and D. That's all we need with Caitlin Clark. 3 and D. Appreciate all you guys for listening. Don't forget to check out Convos with Carter. Take it easy.